Having a desk setup was one of my biggest dreams, a dedicated space to learn, work, and create. It's been over a year since we moved into this new space, and my desk setup is finally looking complete. So in this video, I'm giving you a dedicated tour of my workstation. So this desk is not a bought one, it's actually a custom-made one, and it's in the white color. So as a result, the top was also white, but the white was getting really fingerprinty and it was getting lots of scuffs and marks. So I decided to wrap it in synthetic leather, which is in this black color. It's not the best, it gets dusty very often, and I have to wipe it like every 2 to 3 days. So I'm also planning to buy a mouse pad, so if you have any suggestions, drop it down below. The desk is really wide and pretty deep, and it just gives me enough space to work with. Apart from the desk surface, we have basically 3 compartments on this side, which is my personal books and all that stuff. And on the other side, we have the top one, which is for my watches and my everyday carry, and the bottom one is for cable management. I really love standing desks, and I was planning to get one standing desks, but they're way too expensive, and if you are getting one, cable management is very hard. But in my case, I have this entire compartment just for cable management. I've also drilled a hole behind the Mac Mini so that the cables go underneath, which keeps everything really clean inside. The second most important thing when it comes to desk setups is the chair. This chair is from a company called the Sleep Company, and this is kind of their mid-tier chair. And once I switched to this chair, I never had back pain. Previously, I was using a normal chair and I was struggling with back pain, but once I switched to this, there have been no issues. There is height adjustment, lumbar support, 130-degree recline, two-directional headrest adjustment. I always keep the armrest in this mid position so I can lean forward on the desk, and the desk is so big that I can just keep my hands on the desk surface rather than the chair's armrest. The seats are really comfortable. It is made up of a smart grid technology, so it's not a normal cushion. Unlike normal cushion, it always stays in shape no matter how much you use it. I'm using it for almost 6 months and it's really firm and really comfortable to sit. By the way, they're not sponsoring this video. Now coming to the next most important thing, which is my monitor. If you have reached this part of the video, hit that subscribe button. This is the BenQ GW2790Q, 27 inches, 2K, and it has been the perfect for me. And it also has these sensors at the bottom which automatically adjust according to the room's temperature and the lighting so that the monitor stays visible in whatever lighting condition it is. I was initially about to get a 24-inch monitor, but later found out that 27 inches is actually the perfect monitor and see individual pixels, but sitting at this distance from the monitor, it is not a problem. I have tweaked the temperature, the color, the saturation, the contrast according to my preference. So this monitor is definitely not for color grading purposes. But just like I have said, I have paired this with the Mac Mini, and it's not an Apple monitor. So you cannot adjust the brightness within macOS. There are lots of restrictions. It can be tilted, and I have kept it in the perfect position so that it feels straight. And I really want to get a monitor arm because that would free up a lot of space on my desk. This monitor does not have height adjustment, so using a monitor arm would definitely help me do that. Now, this monitor is currently at the perfect height and the perfect eye level and at the perfect distance, so I have no eye strain or anything like that. And I have paired this monitor with the Mac Mini M4 with an HDMI cable. And the HDMI cable is the one which came with this monitor, so it is not the best. Sometimes the monitor goes black for 1 or 2 seconds and then it comes back. I do think that's a problem with the HDMI cable. That's something to keep in mind. But other than that, this monitor has been perfect. I'm so happy with my purchase. Again, buying monitors, it really comes down to personal preference. So do your own research and buy one. This monitor is perfect for this space and it might not be for you. I also do not have any windows just directly behind the monitor, so there has been no glare or anything like that. Now coming to the keyboard and the mouse. I was initially using this Dell keyboard, which was a pretty basic keyboard and was very hard to type on. And then I started learning touch typing, so I switched to the mechanical keyboard, which is Rappo V500 Pro. But once I switched to the Mac Mini, I ran into my first issue. The Mac Mini only has USB-C port and the Rappo was USB-A. So I had to buy an adapter, which I think was incompatible with this. The keyboard would just work for 1 hour straight and then it would just stop working. And then I switched to this HP membrane keyboard and this mouse combo. Now, this keyboard is really good. Even though it's a membrane keyboard, it's really silent and it's really comfortable to type on. But when comparing with the Dell, it is miles ahead, but it's not as good as my mechanical keyboard. Both of them just runs on normal batteries. Now coming to the mouse. The mouse and the keyboard both are a combo, so they work with a single adapter, and this mouse is really good. My previous mouse was also made by HP, but it was really loud. You can hear the clicks. In case of this mouse, you cannot hear the clicks. It's really silent and it's really ergonomic also. It's a really comfortable mouse, but once this channel makes some money, I will definitely be switching to the Logitech MX Master Series. Now, coming to the audio. As you might have seen, I don't have any professional speakers. The speaker I use is a JBL Go 3. Now, the audio quality and the sound quality, the loudness has been really good, like considering its price and size. I have been using it for almost 2 to 3 years, and it has some grainy noises which kind of disappears when I plug it into power. So I think the battery is weak. And that's exactly why I keep a braided USB-C cable behind the monitor, so I can just connect it to the speakers and also keep my tablet charged at night. For day-to-day activities, this speaker has been more than enough for me. And it has a handle loop, so you can just carry it around. And we have the power button, the Bluetooth button to increase the volume, pause the media, and it honestly gets the job done. Honestly, if any company is watching this video, just send me some speakers, man. I'll review them. And since there is no dedicated microphone on the Mac Mini, which I was really surprised, I used the AirPods Pro first generation as a microphone. Not for the audio, but just for the microphone. Now, I could use this microphone, but it's wired and it just does not look good on the desk. Now, coming to the most important and the most expensive thing on this desk, which is the Mac Mini M4. Well, actually discontinued this exact configuration, which is 16 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage because of the RAM shortage and the memory shortage. So I got this for $600. Now you have to spend $800 to get one. That's because of the huge demand, because people have been buying this. There is no other computer that you can buy for $600 that matches the performance of the Mac Mini. It's incredible value. I would highly suggest you do not get the iMac, because with the Mac Mini you can change the monitor whenever I want. So after some time, if I want to upgrade, I can just buy whatever monitor I want and connect it. You can buy whatever peripherals you want. But the iMac, most of them is just built in. And in my opinion, it also looks ugly. So getting the Mac Mini is definitely a better option. But if you can get one for $600, just buy it right away, man. I am planning to do a full review, a long-term review on this, but wait for that. This machine, there's no hiccups and it just handles everything that we throw at it. Coming to the tablet. The tablet that I use is the Galaxy Tab A9, and I'm planning to do a dedicated review on this. This is really worth for the price. It is snappy. I did not expect this tablet to be this snappy considering the price. It has good software support, is currently running Android 16. The bezels are a little bit thick, but that's not a problem. The cameras are also terrible, which is something to keep in mind. The speakers are also not good. But I just use it just like a secondary display for playing music, just setting timers, just going through documents, chatting with AI. And I've also customized it with the help of Good Clock to make it looking like this. And as I've already mentioned, there is a USB-C cable just behind the monitor, so which keeps this charged at night. Coming to the most interesting part, which is the lighting. I don't usually use the top ceiling light because it is very harsh. And I had this light bar which is lying around, so I just put it on the back of the monitor, so I can just turn off all the lights and it just illuminates the back wall behind the monitor, so it can just reduce the eye strain, and that also becomes kind of like a background light for my YouTube videos. I also use this vintage light when I'm working on my desk. It can be adjusted. This is knob. It usually provides enough brightness to see everything on the desk, and when there's not that much natural light, I usually open the blinds behind the desk setup to get more light. Honestly, this lamp looks really vibey, and it also becomes a light for my YouTube videos. Coming to the most underrated thing about any desk setup, which is plants. I have tried putting different plants in different spaces of my room, but I just kill them all. So I finally settled with the snake plant. It has been indestructible. It needs no light, and you can just water in like every 2 to 3 weeks, and it is just fine. And I also do have this plastic plant. Now, I really love the IKEA fake plant, but there is no IKEA near to me, so I just had to adjust. And you probably have seen this in my short form videos. I honestly think adding plants in different places of my room helped me reduce my stress levels and overall get into flow state much faster. Now, coming to cable management. Cable management is something people struggle with, especially with standing desks, because you have to mount them under the desk with like mounting brackets and all that stuff. But since this desk is custom made, I have an entire, separate thing just for cables. Now here we have the UPS, which is from a company called APC. It's been almost 5 to 6 years old since I bought this one, and I had one battery replacement on it, and it just works fine. I don't live in a region where there is frequent power outages, so I'm mostly okay with this. It gives me around half an hour, maybe even less than that, of power backup, but I just want the voltage to be stabilized and no random shutdowns for the Mac Mini, so that's the reason why I still keep it. And since this drawer is completely closed, it gets hot. So that's why I added a little opening on the backside of the desk. That means there is good airflow inside this, so that I can work for like an entire day and inside, and still this drawer stays cool. The point is actually on this side of the desk, and an extension cable comes behind the table and onto this exact drawer, and from there I have connected it to another extension cord, and one goes to the UPS, and I have connected all my peripherals in this extension cord and the monitor and the Mac Mini directly to the UPS. I don't have to buy any mounting brackets or like make it look good, because nobody is going to see this anyway. And I have taped all the cables together so they perfectly hide behind the monitor stand, and also I keep my tablet just in front of the monitor so no visible cables are there on the desk. That is the hardware part. Now, what makes a desk setup good is not just the hardware, but the software also. And in this video, I'm sharing some apps that has a huge impact on my workflow, just like everything else. First is Notion. Yes, I know I have mentioned this multiple times in my short form videos, but Notion is my entire life tracker. It's been an absolute game changer for me. It handles everything from note-taking to scripts to my personal life. Everything is handled inside Notion. The reason why I specifically use Notion is that it is multi-platform, or else I could have used Apple Notes. Using Notion means that I can just sign in with my mail ID and password on whatever device that I have, and I can just like script videos. All the scripts for my YouTube videos, from my first video till this, even this video, is there in my Notion. I'm not in a paid plan or anything, but there is no ads, no clutter, super minimalistic. The normal plan itself is more than enough for a normal person. The second one is Claude. If you still haven't switched from ChatGPT to Claude, you're missing out on a lot. For sometimes when my Claude credits gets run out, rarely I just somehow for like random tasks switch to ChatGPT, and I get frustrated a lot because of its hallucination rate. I just don't like ChatGPT at all. As a person who uses AI tools every single day, I genuinely think ChatGPT is really bad. And I've been trying to get my hands on with Claude Code, but I haven't gotten the subscription for Claude, so which is something that I will definitely get in the future. Claude does not have image generation, so you have to rely on ChatGPT, but I have a Gemini Pro plan, so that's sorted. Third app is Flow, which is a very simple timer app, and it just shows up on your control center. Whenever I sit down to focus, I just open Flow, and it has 45-minute sessions and a 5-minute break. It's not a big app, a very tiny window, and it can close automatically, and it just appears in my control center, and this helps me focus much more longer than I used to. Fourth app is TickTick. TickTick is a really good to-do list app. I have the widget on my home screen so that I can like check off tasks. You have timer, you have calendar, everything that a productivity app has to offer. TickTick's Pro plan offers even more stuff, but I think the just normal plan is more than enough. If you're trying to be consistent on something, or you're trying to track something, or have a to-do list, it is genuinely better than Google Tasks. It might be a better option to switch to TickTick. Fifth one is My Mind. My Mind is like a second brain. Whenever you come across an article or a YouTube video or a website or a blog post, it is not like the normal save to bookmark that you have on your social media apps. This one is actually integrated with AI. So it analyzes the thing and then classifies it, it color codes it. So it makes fun to revisit those things that you think was important. We all have lots of videos in our watch later and our bookmarks. Honestly, we never go back to them, but My Mind just solves that problem. The sixth app is specifically for Mac users, and it's called Copy Clip. Mac does not have a clipboard, so once you copy something and then you copy another thing, the first one is gone. This is the solution to that. It's a little copy clip icon on the control center, and once you click it, you can see everything that you copied. So when you click on it, it becomes copied again, so you can just paste it. Huge time saver, so if you haven't still tried this out, just go try it. The last app is called Door. This app is specifically useful for people who are switching from Windows to Mac, just like me. So on Mac, when you hover over some app like Chrome, when you have multiple tabs open, you cannot see individual tabs like the preview. On Windows, you can. And when you press Alt-Tab, in Windows, you can see the previews of apps, whereas on Mac, you can only see the app icon. So this is just a solution to that. In both of those places, it makes the preview visible. Especially coming from Windows, it is really annoying to just right click and then select the tab that you want. If you enjoyed this video, drop a comment and subscribe to this channel. Anyways, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.